Good morning. We are in Glasgow, Scotland, and gonna do another cross-country flight, and we'll see how it goes. I changed the time a little bit because we went to our clocks went back. So when I looked over at the sun, I went, that seems pretty low in the sky. So I decided to just roll the clock back a little bit here in Scotland, and so we'll kind of go from there. So. Alrighty, I think I got everything in the cockpit here. Hopefully things are working. Yeah, looks like mic is working. So let's get the plane started up and go fly.
OBS sim sound.
OBS sim sounds. Alrighty, looks like that worked.
Check. Mod mic in position.
As now.
Check. OBS mod mic sound.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Check. OBS streaming.
Looks like I am.
Check. Over toolkit windows.
Yeah, looks like I'm good.
Check. Fly with Lewis sounds script.
I have it, but I have a little problem. I just updated Rep had, I'm on the beta for Rep, and they had a new update. So something's a little squirrely here, because when I try to change it, it goes right back to 0. So that's kind of not right. So if I also go over to Rep settings, that's also at 0. So if I try to make it, we'll say 40, and click on enter, it really doesn't seem to do anything. So if I close this, open it again, settings, it's back to 0. So there's Nico broke something in the this beta release, and I'll have to get a hold with him. Hopefully it won't affect the flight too much, but we'll just have to see. So okay.
Check. ABI tab plugin.
Well, we got that.
Check. Rep weight and balance.
I already checked these, so I'll
Check.
just skip them.
Rep maintenance log. Check. 2 brakes. Test and set. 3 fuel selector. Both. 4 fuel shutoff valve. On, in. 6 beacon. On. 7 avionics switch. Off. 8 master switch. On. 9 throttle. Open 1/4 inch. 10 mixture. Idle cutoff. A auxiliary pump. On. B mixture. Rich until 3 to 5 GPH, then cut off. C auxiliary pump. Off. 12 starter. Engage. 1 ignition switch. Start. 2 mixture, at engine start. Rich. 3 engine. RPM 1000 RPM. 4
Excuse
oil
me.
pressure. Check. 5 mixture. Leaned max. 6 flaps. Retract. 7 avionics. On. 8 instruments.
Going good. I'm not sure what just happened. Oh. For some reason, the fuel valve got turned off. Yeah, I know. I didn't intentionally do that. Well, now that's odd as heck. So what's going on? Okay, wow. There's some really craziness going on here with this rep package. So when I, it's hilarious. So when I turn on the avionics, it, at the same time I do that, it kills the fuel cutoff. It cuts it off. So that's just too crazy. Oh well. I'm not so sure what else is a little crazy on this thing, but I got to get a hold of Nico and say, hey buddy, I don't know what you did, but you broke some things. So we'll, because I updated the reality expansion pack this morning before the flight. That may not have been a good idea, but it is what it is. We'll work through it. So let me look here. Instruments, yeah, that looks good. The 21 feet, 15, yeah, we're good.
Set. 1 breaks.
So you have to wonder what other surprises are in store for me as I fly. Okie dokie. Let's see, flight plan. We going to where I think we're going? Nope, we're not. Flight plan. So, good morning, Iowa. How are you doing this morning? EGFP. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll be a couple hours. Hopefully. EGFP. So we highlight the cursor. Roll down. EGFP. Interesting. Oh. EGPF. I was pretty sure I had loaded the flight plan, so I was like, really? Yeah, I know. Alrighty. Does this look better? Oh, it looks a lot better. Okay. So we're letting the plane warm up a little bit here. Put you down a little bit, so maybe put you up a little bit. Alrighty. No plane's running. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 23.
Cool. Alrighty. So we'll have to see if I can figure out how to get out of here. We're going to runway 23. I've got that dialed in, the heading indicator, and I think I gotta turn to my left, and we'll kind of go from there. Got taxi light on, got generator light on. I wonder what surprises are in store for me today. Okay. So, whoops. Probably better get permission. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to taxi.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf taxi to runway 23 via taxiways Juliet. Alpha, hold short runway 23.
Setcom 1 standby, 118.805.
Com 1 standby on 129.575.
Well, you weren't even close. Setcom 1 standby, 118.805.
118.82 is not a valid frequency for Com 1.
Setcom 1, 118.805.
Com 1 set to 118.805. Glasgow Information India.
Yankee.
1300 Zulu weather.
283 at 12
Wind
knots.
280
Setcom 1, 121.705.
Sky clear. Temp Com 1 set to 121.705.
Okay, I think I got that all set now. That didn't go as well. So, you give me permission to taxi? We'll just get going there. That looks like a bit of a dead end. Come on, turn. Well, let's see. Yeah, looks like the right way.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf contact tower on 118.8. Enjoy your afternoon.
Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for departure.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 283 at 12 knots, altimeter 3003, cleared for takeoff. Runway 23.
Awesome. Get all my lights on. Get spun around here. Oh, my goal is to fly about 1,500 feet today, like I have been doing. So we'll see how it all goes. The start was not too entertaining. There's some real pretty good sized bugs in the reality expansion pack, and it makes it all the more fun when you're in VR. So, oops, a little off course. Okay, looks like I got to be on a heading of 85. So when I look like I can turn now, I'm more than 500 feet above the ground. So we'll turn left here to a heading of 85. So we're going to fly to Edinburgh, and lots of traffic down there this morning, or actually this afternoon. So that's 120. That's 90. Straighten it up. 85. So, pull back the power a bit. Probably 2200 will be good. Have the nose down, trim it a little bit. Trying to find a balance here. Looks like I'm close, not quite there yet. We'll just let it see what it wants to do here. It always, when you first set the, try to get the trim set, throttle set, it always does a little bit of a porpoise before it finally figures out where it wants to be. So we're pretty close though. So the Edinburgh is about 34.6 miles away. So we're still using the Vive Pro 2 with quite a few modifications on it to make it comfortable enough that I can spend hours in it without any serious issues. So this certainly is a year of VR headsets. I just heard about a company out of China that that has this new VR headset. It's got a Kickstarter. Kind of just opened, if I understand it right, and but it's using what's called micro OLED displays, and it looks really nice. And it is it's probably, wow, it's probably in the physical front on my face. It's probably half the size of the Vive Pro. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna jump out of cockpit. Hopefully I won't crash. Yeah, a bunch of neat stuff here. Cool. Something looks a little misplaced with that bridge there, but that's kind of neat. That over there is neat. This below us is neat. Grip seems a little bit wrong.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, have a good afternoon. Frequency change approved.
Okay. There we go. Let me make sure. Pretty close. But it looks pretty interesting. So it's something I'm certainly going to keep my mind on, because it's the price wasn't too bad. I think it was around maybe 600, and if you're an early adopter, I think the price is 40% off. So that was kind of interesting also. So we'll have to see. But it looks really nice. What was really nice is I wear glasses, so every headset I always have to find lens adapters. And like the Pimax I haven't flown it because I haven't found lens adapters yet, and I just won't put my glasses inside a VR headset. Just the way I am. And this new headset has diopter adjustment, so you can dial what your prescription is. You can dial it right into the headset, which is there's a couple of them right now that actually do that. There's not very many of them, so but most of them are using what's called a pancake lens design. And I just read an interesting article that the people that developed the pancake lens design was 3M. I went, well, that's really entertaining. So that's kind of why these headsets are coming out now, and why the lenses are pretty small, and it sounds like the field of vision, the field of view, is pretty wide. Not Pimax, like a Pimax 8KX wide, but fairly wide. I mean, wide enough for, as far as I'm concerned, for sim use. So we'll just have to see how this all works out. But I just can't imagine how many headsets have been released this year. It's nuts. Because you hear all the clamor about you can't get chips and all that stuff. Where did these people get the parts to build a headset? I mean, it's headsets take computer chips to build. I mean, so it's kind of weird. But it's a fun time to be a VR enthusiast, no doubt about it. It's like a racetrack, no? Of some sort. Got something in the horizon that kind of is sticking out. Not sure what it is. Yeah, still a hazy day today. Seems to be the norm. Because I'm using live weather, but I adjusted the time. I shoved the clock back by 2 hours. So it's 2 hours earlier in the day than it normally would be if for me to start streaming at 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Daylight or Eastern Standard Time, I guess is what we call it now. the fallback time. There are a lot of power lines there. Whoops. Drifted off course a little bit. Looking pretty good frame-wise. I wonder what that thing is. You could see, I could see it for like a long ways away. I don't know what it is. It's a little bit off my flight plan, so. So we're 19 miles out from the airport, about 10 minutes. Best I can tell is it's either a graphics anomaly or just a piece of ground that's way higher than everything else surrounding it. I think I've seen this before. Let me get out of the cockpit. It just looks odd for the surrounding area. It may be real, I don't know, but it looks odd for this area. I mean, everything else is pretty flat, but that's not. Setcom 1 standby at 118.705. Some windmills? So I was going to use voice to set my frequency, but I decided instead to just do it with the knob. So, and actually it works fairly well. You can adjust it pretty easily. I don't find it as all that difficult. So. So we're 13 miles from the airport. So Edinburgh's where Edinburgh Castle is. They have an event there almost every year that it's called a tattoo. That is military bands from all over the world come to Edinburgh Castle to perform. It's pretty neat. We had the pleasure of actually being there at that time, so it was really, really, really interesting. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200 altimeter 29er expect to enter on a left downwind for runway 24. Call downwind.
Okay, the good thing is that she told me a runway that I believe is actually at the airport, and I have my heading bug dialed in for it. So when I get on the downwind, I'll call for a touch and go. Finding the airport will be a bit of a challenge, but yeah, we'll see. The winds don't seem too bad, so. When I looked at the weather this morning, there were segments for this whole flight area, and it said it was extreme turbulence. I'm like, I'm at a Cessna, this is not going to be a fun day, so, but maybe because I moved the time back a little bit, maybe that had some influence. I don't know. But what I had at the airport I took off from, and what's coming up is completely acceptable. So because I was looking at numbers like 17 knots, gust to 32, craziness like that. So. I'm like 7 miles out. I pulled the throttle back to 2,000, and I'm trying to trim for about 1,500. Elevation is 132, so I need to be about 1,200 feet. So I'm trying to get level here. It'll do two things. One is it'll slow me down a bit, and I'll be a little bit above pattern altitude, but not very much. So just trying. I'm pulling back on the yoke just slightly, and then trimming the pressure off it. So it looks like I'm lined up, kind of for a a left downwind of runway 24, so the key is to find the airport. So far it's not obvious, but we'll see. 4.8 miles out. And it should be to my left a little bit. Four miles is hard to judge when it's hazy like this. Still not obvious yet. I think that's it though. There we go. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 272 at 12 knots, cleared for the option runway 24.
Okay. We're all good. So I'm trying to skirt out a little bit. I feel like I'm a little bit tight to the runway. When I get out here a little bit, I'll square up with the runway. About now. Oh. I got 2.4 in the bottom of my heading indicator. Yeah. I'm liking that better. I'm probably a little bit too far out, but that's okay. It'll be fine. So we're looking for the end of that runway. And I'd say it's right about there. So I'm going to hold back on the yoke a little bit, pull back on the power about 1800. Put 1 notch of flaps in, try to get the plane to descend here. And now we're just continuing out, trying to see when the runway is the 45 degrees away from us. I'm saying that's good. So we go ahead, we turn on base. Second notch of flaps, looking at our RPM. I'm shooting for 1800, so trying not to lose too much airspeed here. I'm trying to get that to descend. Alrighty. I overturned that just a little bit, not a lot. I want to be 500 feet. I'm a little bit high, but that looks okay. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 272 at 12 knots, cleared for the option runway 24.
Okay. So I went a little bit too far on my final, but we're lined up pretty good right now. So we have a little bit of a displaced threshold here, not too much. We'll just ride it on in here. It's absolutely not looking too bad. Fairly good approach. Pretty happy with what I'm seeing. The pappies seem pretty happy with me. That's good. So since we can absolutely make the runway, last notch of flaps. Back power just a little bit, not a lot. I probably can now. Runway 24, that's where I was told to land. Whoa. Let's get off the ground because you ain't doing too good on it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. The approach was good. The approach was really good. You know, where I was coming down that final at about 70 knots. So across the threshold, 70, 65, all that's good. So I was quite happy with that. We got to get on a heading of 2.9, and so what I wanted to do before I go on heading, because it's got a pretty long journey, 85 nautical miles. So what I'm going to do is make a slow right turn here. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out over the river, and I want to go across the over the bridges that are here. The bridges are pretty cool looking. So I'm going to start pulling back the power here. Go about 2200. Trying to make sure I don't turn this turn too steep, so that I'm trying to get out away from the airport. So I could see the elevation was coming up a little bit quicker, so I shoved in on the yoke a little bit to stop that. And then when I pushed in on the yoke, I pulled up on the trim wheel. So that should kind of get me close to level, but also it should increase my airspeed. So right now I'm about 90 knots. I lost the bridges for just a minute, so it's kind of like, where'd they go? I'm a little bit away from them right now, so. But I'm just slowly doing a turn here to get out over the river. So. And these bridges are modeled quite well. I'm pretty happy with these. They're pretty predominant features from Edinburgh. So after I go over these bridges, looks like I'm going to have to do a right turn to get on course. But I wanted to go over these first. and I want to stay pretty, yeah, I want to keep it at 1,500 feet, so. Yeah, I haven't been, I think the last time I streamed may have been Sunday, last Sunday. I've been working on my, with the help of a contributor, Alexander, he helped change how I build plywood Lua. So now I'm using what's called GitHub Actions. So I build plywood Lua completely on GitHub. So and the way GitHub Actions work is that you actually it's native build. So on Windows, it's a native. It's I assume it's like a Windows virtual machine. On the Mac, it's a virtual Mac. And on Linux, it's a virtual Linux machine. So it actually works. It's worked out quite well. I'm pretty happy. So basically, all I have to do is when I'm doing a new version, I just push it to GitHub, and when it receives a push command, and then it automatically builds a new version. So it's pretty neat. I was kind of trimming the wrong way. I was like, what's wrong? Oh, I think I'm level. Looking pretty nice. I have made changes in my graphics setting, trying to reduce shimmers, and so far I am very, very, very happy. It used to be like them wires and stuff, I would see shimmers in them, you know. So right now I can see the vertical wires on the on this second bridge. And I can certainly see the individual cables on this third bridge. So absolutely, it's really looking nice. I'm quite happy. Yeah, we're right here. I mean, you can just see these individual wires. Hardly any aliasing going on at all. Hardly any. That is amazing. That's made a tremendous difference. Pretty cool. Quite happy with that choice. Look pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Gotta get to a heading of 29. So the quickest way to get there is do a right-hand turn. So we'll roll out of the turn a little bit here. I was zoomed in so much I couldn't see the magenta line. I'm like, am I going the right way? And I had to unzoom it so I could actually see it. So there we go. Okay, that looks better. So we got a ways to go. I got 80 nautical miles to go. So. Pretty big building there. Yeah, I actually thought I was going to be fighting turbulence the whole day, so I wasn't as much looking forward to this stream, but it's actually turned out okay, and it's yeah, it's fine. So basically, I'm kind of like running up the coast of the coast here. So I was a little bit off course because of looking at the bridges, but as I get back on course, then the coastline should be, most of the time should be able to see the coastline. So I'm gonna jump out and look at these windmills. So I want to look at two things. I want to look at the windmills and the wires that the power lines that go to them. And so I can kind of like look down at these power lines and I see all the lines. No shimmer, no nothing. The same way as the windmills. The windmills have no shimmer whatsoever. That is pretty nice. That's cool. I am very, very happy. Kind of like a radio tower there by the looks of it. Kind of funny how some tanks come off okay and other ones look a little weird. There's a windmill that all you see is the shadow of the windmill. There's not a windmill there. It's kind of, you can see the windmill shadow. It's funny. It has to be from the satellite image. But just following these power lines here, you can see all the wires on the power lines without any issues at all. That's pretty nice. Yeah, this is a tremendous improvement. Can't wait for X-Plane 12. This will be even more fun. Well, better get back in the cockpit and see how far off course I am. Yeah, a bit. Supposed to be 29, yeah. That's pretty good. Elevation, I was staying pretty level. That's good. I just drifted to the right a little bit. Just checking the outside temperature just to make sure it's not close to freezing. So, nope, it's not. Some of the cloud screenshots from X-Plane 12 are just stunning what they look like. It's gonna be fun to fly in that. But the plane's like all trimmed up. It's just maybe 100 feet above where I would want it to be. So just shove the yoke in, run the trim wheel up just a little bit. But I mean, but it's just sitting here just flying, basically level. So it's not climbing at all. You can look at the vertical speed indicator, and that needle's barely moving. It's like right around zero, like no more than 100 feet up or down in the vertical speed. And that's a pretty sensitive instrument. So see the frame drill a little bit. Yep. When you get more overcast skies, when they're more over top of you, frames go down. And so I went from earlier I was around 45 frames, and right now I'm 22 frames. So it's interesting how big an impact that has, especially in VR. Don't know about 2D, but man, in VR it is a tremendous impact. And I can feel it in the headset. I can feel that, like when if I move my head too quick, I can actually see the image kind of, tear isn't the right word, maybe stutter. So the headset has kind of a hard time, when I turn my head, the image is going to be different. So it has a hard time, displaying that updated image. So and the lower your frames are, the more pronounced that is. But as that we go past that cloud that was over our head, then the frames go up. It is a dramatic impact. Dramatic. So to go from 45 to 22, that's monstrous change. So, but that's what I've been seeing for some time, and it's not necessarily related to the graphics change I made. It is I've kind of seen it all along. So. And then when the frames are up, then any of that stutter, or I don't even know what to call it, where the image doesn't quite stay in sync with the headset movement. The higher the frames, the less you'll actually see that, if at all. But unless it got like really, really, really bad, there's no way I would like turn off live weather, you know. It'd have to get really bad before I would do that. That's something just you have to learn to live with a little bit. But I mean, I'm sporting a pretty high-end headset, so there's a lot of pixels it's got to create to for the image that I'm seeing here. So that has a lot of impact. Yeah. So per eye, I'm 2356 by 2356. What's being given to X-Plane. So that's a lot of pixels. So that has an impact. So if you're running like a lower end headset, like say like a Quest or Quest 2, something like that, a DK1, because the resolution is less, for the same computer or even a lesser computer, it's easier to display that image. The downside is because it's less resolution, the image is not as clear. So in other words, this cockpit is completely clear, you know. I can't quite see this little text here on this altimeter, but if I go in about this far, I can read it. So, and that is some really, really small text. So this guy over here, same way. That's twofold on this placard over here. It's at an angle, so I'm not looking straight at it, and it's a little bit outside of the focus zone of the headset. But more importantly, over here, this is 56.5. I don't have to lean in to see that number. I can just look over at it and I know what it is. So to me, that's what's important to me. Also, when I was outside the cockpit flying over the bridges, the fact I could see those individual cables, that's a pretty good resolution. I mean, so if you can see that kind of detail, then that's pretty cool. So okay, we got another bridge here. I don't know if I've ever flown over this bridge. It's kind of like on our flight path, so we'll see what it looks like. It looks like a pretty big bridge. There's a couple of bridges here. Let me, there's two of them. Let me go over to the left a little bit. I'll fly down the river, and then I'll turn back on course. We'll kind of see what they look like. Because I like on these flights, if I see something that's kind of entertaining, I'll just take. There's no reason I have to fly direct to the airport. I have a flight plan. I kind of like know where I need to get to. So I also like to just kind of check out the scenery and see how well. Because the scenery I'm using here is Orbx True Earth for Great Britain. I have all three of them. There's three different parts of it for Great Britain, and so I kind of like to show off how good a job they've actually done. So we'll get turned around here. I'll do a 180, trying to get far enough upstream here to so that I'll be straight by the time I fly over the bridge. Should be okay, I think. I'm trying not to do really crazy turns here. Just a standard right turn here to get me turned around. Just trying to not let the plane drop too much in elevation. So I just want to get level right here. Everything looks pretty good. Oops. That looks pretty cool. Kind of interesting why there's metal on that part of it, not over on the other side. Same way on this side, so. Huh, it's interesting. Quite interesting. Yeah, it's fairly well rendered. The road on that end looks pretty close. I'm not so sure about this one. Looks like we got a bit of a gap here. Yeah. Something's a little amiss right there. Oh well. Back in the cockpit. So I'll get back on course. Elevation is good. Been trying to stay around 1500. We got 15 miles to go. About half an hour. Excuse me. Well, so far I'm glad that Rep hasn't given me any more surprises, so get done, I'll contact Nico on the forums and kind of tell him what I found. I'll recheck it in 2D just to make sure it ain't a VR thing, but I'm thinking it's not. Gotta be a data ref that's messed up somewhere somehow. Because I actually did it 2 times in a row and I couldn't figure out what was wrong until I looked down and seen the fuel cutoff was sticking out. And I was like, oh, well, that's not good. That plane's not going to run that way. So, and then meanwhile, it's complaining at me that, you know, that I had the avionics on when the plane quit. Well, I'm trying to turn the avionics on and you quit the plane. A rep quit the plane. So, no, I wasn't intentionally trying to do that. I never do that. But when you turn the avionics on and the fuel cutoff valve decides to cut the engine, the fuel, I'm like, it's gonna quit. Pretty crazy. So where are we up to? Dice. EGPD. Elevation 211. So a pattern of 1200 or so. Yeah, so the computer that I'm running is an Intel 11900K, and my graphics card is an RTX 3090 with 64 gigs of RAM. And I had been searching for a 3090 for basically ever since they were released. A year ago, September. So for almost a year, I had tried to find a 3090, and I was looking on GitHub Shuffle, and too many of the shuffles were combos that were just too much money. The graphics card was too much money, but then they wanted to add So I'm looking like for a 3090, and they wanted to bundle it with like an AMD motherboard. Well, I don't want to. My preference is Intel, not AMD. So what am I gonna do with the graphics card? So I just kept looking, and finally got a text message on my phone that said I won the shuffle. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, cool, and it was bundled with an 850 watt power supply. So I went, well, I won't use it because I'll buy a 1000 watt, but I can at least sell it or give it to somebody. So I went ahead and I went ahead and ordered it. So I got it, and that point forward, I built my new computer around that video card. So I had already pretty much knew what kind of parts I wanted for the new build, and so I just started buying parts until I got everything I wanted, and then built this new computer. And so far, I've been like extremely happy. So this video card, if I'm just doing browsing on the internet, the fans don't even start on the video card. It's amazing. It's just, it doesn't need to, so it cools that well. So and like right now, yeah, my CPU is running at 60C, so it's cool. It is not warming up at all. So the cooling solution, I have a 360 millimeter all-in-one water cooler for the CPU, and it works just great. Just so happy. So I also stream Microsoft Flight Simulator. I haven't for a little bit. I've been spending most of my time in X-Plane. On the 18th of this month, they're gonna bring VR controller support, and I plan on, when that does happen, that I will I'll do some streams of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But when there's a public beta of X-Plane 12, I'll certainly be streaming that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to kind of compare them two against each other. So in my environment, in other words, a VR streamer's environment, how I do flight simulation is quite a bit different than many people. Streaming VR is not the easiest thing to try to pull off, but I enjoy doing it. I just love flying in VR. So if I can do a reasonable job of of showing other people like my experience. That's fun for me. So, but it's not. There's no way that it's the same as what I see in the headset. It's just not the same experience. So, and I fully recognize that. Yeah, the last time I streamed in Microsoft Flight Simulator, there was a bug. Hopefully they'll get it fixed, but and I don't know if it's the servers got overloaded or what, but it will. It says communication error. But when that happens, the plane is basically dead. In other words, the plane's still running, still flying, but you have no input over it. In other words, if I move the yoke, no influence. If it decides it's doing a turn, doing a dive, whatever, it will continue doing that until that error goes away. It's really the oddest thing I've ever seen. And I can understand if you're screaming the scenery doesn't update or that, but to absolutely lock the controls of a simulator when that happens is beyond anything I've ever experienced in a simulator. It's just, I mean, the first time it happened, I was like, what is going on? And I kept, because the plane started rolling to the right, so I kept trying to counter it. It made no difference. I was like, oh boy. So I kind of like went, okay, well, it looks like we're going in the ground. Because that's where we were headed. And all of a sudden, then the communication comes back. It says, communications reestablished, and the controls are released. It's like, what on earth was that? You know, I have no idea what kind of bug that was, but that's a very disappointing bug for sure. Just not sure how far away we are with X-Plane 12, how close we are to a private beta or the public beta. So, because they're not doing a private beta yet either. So they still have. I guess they just still have work to do. So. Yeah, so like I said, so we're flying kind of like along the coast. The coast is at least viewable, you know, because I'm right on the flight plan, so. Yeah, and the same thing. What you don't know is on X-Plane, the like the scenery, how much that's going to change. In other words, will this Orbx True Earth, will it work the same? Will it have to be updated? I have no idea. So. Let's wait and see. The one thing I know for certain is that it will not stream scenery. X-Plane 11 or 12 will not stream scenery. It's just not going to happen. It's two reasons. One is Laminar Research does not have. They don't have Bing in their back pocket. Would be the right way to say it. So how would you go about doing that? And you'd have to enter into some kind of contract with maybe Google or somebody like that, and what the heck would that cost? And then you'd have to have servers and all of that. So, and Austin's personal opinion is that when you get down close to the ground, it doesn't look that good. And if he's the one in charge of the team, probably his opinion will rule. So that's what it is. So his thought is to increase the art assets, to improve the art assets. So you may not be able to see your house, but you'll see a representation of what houses in your area look like, and they'll use OSM street map data to place them. So that's kind of the direction that for X-Plane 12 they're going to go in, which is similar to 11, but sounds like it'll be improved too. So. So 28 miles out. Yeah, I knew this was going to be a long leg. But I needed to get kind of in this direction, so was kind of necessary. And the only airports in between, or I would have picked another one, but the only airports in between these two airports are military airports, and I'm trying to, best of my ability, pick airports that I could fly in real life. So they're going to frown on you pretty big time if you, as a GA pilot, go landing at a military airport. They just won't be happy with you. So I choose to try to keep it lifelike as much as possible. So we got about 15 minutes now. It looks like this could be an interesting approach. So the latest weather report was winds 300, 20 gusts in the 30. The longest runway is 34, so it'll be a bit of a crosswind, but not a direct crosswind, so maybe it won't be so bad. We'll find out. Isn't like I don't like a challenge. I used to seriously shy away from crosswind landing, but anymore it's just a challenge. Kind of know the technique, so you kind of know what to do. A little bit off course here. I'm trying to get by this little mountain or hill or whatever to get back on course. Try not to climb over 1500 if I don't have to, so we'll see how it works out. pretty much this heading here is going to get me on course, so. So about the only one that's of issue is the one straight ahead and further out, so. Whether I got to give it some power to get up over it or not, I don't know that yet. It's funny when you look at like hills and mountains in the distance, they always look like you're going to run right into them, but most of the time that's not really true. It's like a optical illusion. So the closer you get to them, the lower they are. Kind of funny. But like that one over there, I can see a ridge on the other side of it. So normally that's meaning that you could fly over it. If you can see to the other on the other side of a ridge, then you will fly over it. So at least that's been my understanding and experience. So I think we got a bunch of windmills on the ridge. Man, a lot of them. So we're 19 miles out. What do we got for tower here? Set one. Set one. Setcom 1 standby 118.105.
Com 1 standby set to 118.105.
So we got it in the standby, so I can click on the flip button and put it to make it active. But no need to do that quite yet. We get about 10 miles out, I'll do that. So we got an ATIS. Yeah. Setcom 1 114.300.
114.3 is not a valid frequency for Com 1.
Really? Huh. Why not? What do you say, Zetas? We're going to PD, right? Yeah? Setcom 1 121.85.
Com 1 set to 121.85.
Dice information Zulu. 1520 Zulu winds are 302 at 15 knots. Visibility unrestricted. 3,500 broken. Temperature 9. Dew point 2. Current altimeter is 2988. Arriving and departing runway 34. Dice information Zulu. 1520 Zulu winds are
Yep. So right now, I've got clouds above me a lot. And it is impacting my frames pretty dramatically. Like that dramatically. I'm going to try to ride it out. We'll see how that goes. I'm 15 miles out. I'm kind of hoping that I get out from underneath it. And if I do, then I'll be okay. But if the frames are that low when I'm coming in to do a landing, that's not going to be that will not be a pleasant experience. So Let's have to see. But that's a dramatic demonstration of how much impact that has. They're going up. As you can see, clouds, blue sky. You just watch the watch the frames. They should be climbing. Certainly not down in the 19s. And I could tell, like when I was moving my head, I could see it. So I had tower in my standby frequency, and I put the ATIS in the active. So after I got the information and the runway information, then I flipped it. So now I have tower in the active. So when we get about 10 miles out, I'll call for landing. So request landing. Just amazing how much difference that makes. It's when I see people talk about frames in VR, and they show pictures and stuff. But that's the very first thing I look at in the picture is what's the clouds look like? Is there just a few wispy clouds? If there is, that's completely different than what you may experience in real weather. So, and that's kind of what's going on right now. Is I had a little bit of blue sky, and then as I fly further, I'm getting underneath the cloud again. So, and it's an impact. It's a big impact. It's obvious what's going on. And like my CPU, it's not even working hard. Look at that thing. CPU is 15%. Now GPU, on the other hand, she's working hard. That's like 95, 96%. It's working hard. So. And that was the weather reload. And that's like how they are. They just like bang come. And so that's that's one thing that X-Plane 12 is supposed to be fixing is it's the weather reloads won't be as abrupt. So I may have to change this because it is really dramatically affecting how this plane's performing. Yeah, because it's because I have to overcorrect everything right now. So the plane goes to move, and it's related to the flight model. It is I hope it gets better. It ain't looking that way. I hate to do it, but I don't think I got a choice right now. 'Cause I'm getting danced pretty good here. You could watch the watch this guy here. You can watch him, like watch the wings rocking. No. Alrighty. Okay, let's go down to here. Try scattered. Better. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200 altimeter 2988, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 34. Call downwind.
So that was scattered. So it's better, but it still isn't good. Alrighty. 3-4. Pull power back to 4.5 miles out. 211 feet. So you gotta be over here on my left somewheres. Four miles out. I think it's right there. Yep, absolutely. 3-4, going the wrong way. So I got to get up this way. So I got 3-4 in the top of my heading indicator. So that means I am lined up for 3-4. So I got to get over here on the left side and do a 180, and to get set up for an approach. So just trying to get level here. Yeah, that weather was just a little bit too crazy. Yeah, that's way better. When I can't really control the airplane, when the frames get so low that you can't control the airplane, it's just not a fun experience. So hopefully these hills here aren't too high, and we'll just have to see how that all works out. So I need to be a little bit higher. So I'll pull back on the yoke here to try to gain some elevation, because right now I'm at 1,000 feet and I should be at 1,200. So, and let me go to 2,100. So I'll give myself just a little bit more power until I'm pretty sure I can get myself lined up on the downwind here. But I mean, there's still like a lot of clouds, even though, because I went from real weather, and I think it said broken, and I'm unscattered now, so it's still low. It's still low. So with all their new volumetric clouds, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of impact that's going to have on frames. So will they be worse or better? Or won't make any difference? Could be either one. Okay, that's clearly the end of the runway there, so we'll go out a little bit, and I'll do a 180-degree turn to get lined up for the downwind. So I'm going to turn out this way a bit. So basically I'm going to do a teardrop. Alrighty. Spin around, doing a standard rate turn. So this white mark here, I'm trying to turn at that rate there. So it's called a standard rate. So basically, standard rate turn is if you keep it right on that mark, you'll do a 360 degree in 2 minutes. That's a standard rate turn. And if you're a commercial pilot, you're not supposed to turn any steeper than that. So hopefully I see the runway again. I haven't so far. There it is. Okay. Looking good. Elevation's actually excellent. So we're looking for my my heading bug here to be down in the bottom. That was probably as good as I've ever done one of these. That's cool. Alrighty. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 34.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 34.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 302 at 15 knots, cleared for the option runway 34.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, pull back the power a little bit here. Back to 2000. Trying to maintain being parallel, and I'm looking at my strut here. And for a proper approach here, you want that strut, the runway, to be in the middle of the strut. It's pretty close. Or maybe a little bit farther out, and that's okay. This gives you a little more time. So I'm gonna go out a little bit. And then and square it up. Looking for the end of that runway. Okay, I'd say that's the end. Pull back on the yoke a little bit. Pull back on the power. Airspeed's going down into the white arc. 1 knot of flaps is in. So now we're letting the plane descend. And looking for the runway to be at a 45-degree angle with the plane. And when it is, you can turn the base. That's pretty good. So turning the base. 2nd notch of flaps. Make sure the plane keeps descending, so you don't run out of airspeed. Squaring up on base. Runway is there. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 29 or 2 at 19 knots, cleared for the option runway 34.
Okay. So we're cleared for touch and go. Trying to get the approach pretty good. I'm high by a bit. Not a lot high, but So I'll pull back power just a bit here. That looks pretty good. I don't necessarily see a pappy on this runway. Doesn't mean I need one. My airspeed's a little quick. She's going down now. Okay. About 1500. That should be good. I got her slowed up a little bit here. Low too high. Yeah, I'd probably say it was a late flare. Okay, up we go. Yeah, I was acceptable. Not sure if I had a crosswind. Didn't feel like I had a crosswind, but the wind was like 19 knots, so. So I need to be on heading of 291. One of my windows is kind of giving me grief right now, but I'll tackle that problem. 291. Okay, so I make a left turn here. 62 miles to the next airport. I think that's the final airport. Yep. So we'll get turned here, and then I'll deal with this problem. So we're coming up on 1500. So pull the power back to 2200. Try to get on course. So for some reason, this window is not cooperating with me. It keeps saying it can't be found, so it doesn't look like it's working. So we'll have to fix it. Probably a bit off course about now. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, every once in a while. Hey, that's the fun of flying in VR. Every once in a while, the window, the desktop window, kind of loses connection with OBR Toolkit. So normally you can play with it a little bit. Sometimes it'll come back to life, but a lot of times it won't. And you have to basically tell it what the window is again, and it kind of refreshes itself. So it's the fun of VR, and but it'll be okay. So amazing. Yep, same thing. Like I'm just like under all of these clouds. Alrighty, so scattered wasn't good enough. So let's go down to Cirrus. Actually, let me do this. Let me shove them up. Let me try that. See if that's better. So basically, I just told the clouds, I want you higher. I don't want you as close to me as you are. Dramatic difference. Dramatic difference. So now it's 45 again. So it's the same clouds, but they're not on top of me. So, but that's the impact. That's the impact of clouds. And it's, I kind of like that I'm able to kind of like show that. And like I said, I'd like to fly in real weather, but if I have to fight with it too much, I won't. So, but I didn't really want to get rid of it. I kind of like scattered clouds personally, but that's what it is. So it is not necessarily how much, but how close they are to you is where the impact is. So yeah, so now the GPU is at 90. It was about 90, 97, 96, 7, 8, and now it's 86. So it went down 10%. Alrighty, should be on a heading of 291, so 300 or so will be okay. PE. Inverness, last airport, 56 miles away. Fuel looks good. I've been in VR for 2 hours. Yep, every time I go fly, I learn something new. Quite amazing. That looks a bit tall right there. Let's see how tall it is. Kind of looking at my options. You go off on the right here by the looks of it. And I really don't want to get right up to it and make that decision. Yeah, let me go over here. I just got to go at a little bit of an angle here. I'll just shoot at the lower part. Not at the peak. I should be okay. So once I get past it, I'll just make a left. I'll put myself back on course. I might have been able to make it, but I tend to be a little bit cautious. Especially I got 52 miles to go, so it's like... You can make some small course corrections. And also this time of day, the way the sun is in the sky, you have all these shadows and stuff, so it's kind of a little bit deceiving as to how close you are to the ground. And you don't want to guess wrong. Okay. Actually, right about here. Yeah, I'm losing just a little bit of elevation. Pulled back on the yoke, trimmed it. And she's slowly like increasing in altitude. Time is it? Not bad. Yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good flight. Okay. So the next airport must be on the coast. It's 28 feet. So 1,000 feet will be the pattern. So don't need to change any frequencies yet. We're 47 miles out, and we get about 20 miles out. I'll start setting some comp frequencies up. Yeah, so it sounds like Austin's been working on the weather engine. So since he's a real-world pilot, it should be kind of interesting to see what he has come up with. I know the previews I've seen so far look really nice. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah, earlier I must have been running into some turbulence too, because the plane was getting danced around enough that I had to put like excessive aileron adjustments in to try to keep the plane flying straight. It was dancing me pretty good, so there was something going on with that weather. And I didn't run them up that far. Let me look. Yeah, so I put them up around 10,000 feet. Actually, the bottom's probably 7,000 or 8,000 feet. So. Well, I hope I make it to the airport before it gets dark. 27 minutes. I'm thinking it's going to be dark by the time I get to the airport. Yeah, it's okay. I didn't want to fly over that peak, so I went over on this side, and as soon as I get past it, I'll make a right turn, get on course. So. Hopefully I don't find nothing that surprises me over there. Trying to get as close to that peak as I can. All I gotta do is get over it. Cause I'm at just under 1,600 feet, so. So straight ahead should kind of put me on course. So. Be also nice to have 3D trees. We'll see what impact those have. Because here you can actually see them when you look straight down on them. I mean, you can see what they are. You look at them at a distance, they're okay, but when you look straight down and you can see that they're just flat. Kind of like, that's really not what a tree looks like. So we'll see. If I fly straight ahead, I'm on course. So hopefully we can make it up over this. But we'll see. If I can, I'll give it a little bit of power and get up over it. But I'm at 1,700 right now. So looks like I'm gonna. I don't know quite yet. I think I'm gonna make it. I'm like slowly climbing, not very fast, but just slowly climbing. Well, I'm over this ridge. Next one, not sure about. Certainly don't want to run into a windmill. Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Yep. Yeah, so right now, if I can see on the other side of this ridge, then I will fly over it. Yeah, a few months back, I spent some time flying in the sim in Arizona. I learned a lot about what you got to do if you're flying through those mountains there, where you're high enough up that you've got to lean your engine out, or you ain't gonna have the power you need. So it was kind of interesting. Remember one airport I flew to. I think it was on it was a Native American reservation, and it basically flew down this valley. Like the valley was going downhill. At the bottom of the valley, you had to make a left-hand turn. There was the runway. That was the trip, and you had to descend about. I think you descended 1,500 feet in the course of probably less than 5 miles. It was, that was one of the most intense approaches I've ever done. So, and a lot of times you wouldn't get down low enough, and so you go to turn and you're way above the runway. So then you had to figure out is how can I get turned around and like kind of do like a 180 or something like that, and not run into a mountain. Because there wasn't like a lot of valley in the bottom of this, so it was just crazy. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So, and I got to fly in both in Microsoft Flight Simulator and in X-Plane, so it was interesting to see how close they really were. They were actually quite close. Because you had kind of like a landmark. There was some kind of like retention ponds on the way in. So they kind of like when you seen them ponds, you knew that you need to be getting lower in elevation. So, and then you know, you started once you saw them, you started making an approach, and they were as visible in X-Plane as in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, so I've climbed up to almost 2,000 feet right now, just trying to be comfortably above this terrain. So, I don't want to get too much higher than this if I don't have to, but got 31 miles to go. So. Straight ahead is on course, but thinking we're trying something different. I'll go over to the left a little bit here. Should be okay to get above this. So, with that ridge in the middle, I'm not so sure about. Okay, 18 minutes to go. So I may get there before the sun sets, I'm not sure. We said we're going to end up on the coast, so it's kind of hard to tell right now if that sun is on the water or if there's a ridge. I think it's on the water. Actually could have went to the right probably. Yeah, we'll see what we see up here. Gotta make a right-hand turn pretty quick here, but that's above me. So is there a ridge in between these two, I hope? Or not a ridge, but a valley. Ooh, not looking that way. I was counting on there being a valley there. Nope. Alrighty. We'll go for this one. This heading will give me pretty much on course. So I have to turn right just a little bit. And start it now. I'm good. I'm clear. I'm not a lot above it, but I made it. Certainly looks like I got a ridge or two to go over yet. Yeah, looking. I may still see the sun when I land. I'm not sure. Excuse me. Don't want to run into these windmills. There's a lot of them here. Back in the plane. Set COM1 standby 118.405.
COM1 standby set to 118.405.
Oh, 10 minutes for 16.8 miles. Looks like it's all lower here, so start descending here back down to 1500. It was just easier going over those hills and mountains to just to stay a little bit higher and not have to worry about it so much. Still under the to get above 3,000 feet, then you have to kind of pay attention to your elevation related to your direction of flight. So we'll go back to 2,000. Just let her descend. Don't have to descend too fast, but this will get me down there a little quicker. Yeah, looks like the sun's gonna be gone. So back down to 1500, put the RPM back to 2200 and try to get it to do a level flight right here. Close, not quite there yet. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200, altimeter 3000, expect to enter on a left downwind for runway 23. Call downwind.
Runway 23. Okay, we're less than 10 miles out, 9.7. About 6 minutes. Be the last airport of the flight. Flight actually turned out way better than I thought it was going to. Yeah, this will be fun to find. 6.7 miles out. Most looks like it's right in front of me. Yep. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's the airport. That's the runway. Because according to my heading bug, it should be on my left-hand side, and that's absolutely where that is. 4.7 miles out. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. How big a runway we got? Yeah, 5,900 feet. That's actually quite a bit of runway. Well, is that it or not? Nope, that ain't it. There it is. There's a rabbit. Yep. I thought it was right here on the left here, but on the, yeah. But I just saw the rabbit. And I can see the white marks of that outline the runway. And that kind of lines up better with, let me look here. Yep. We're good. So, basically gonna make a turn here. So basically I'll be parallel with the runway. When I end up with my turn here, I'll be on a runway heading. Gonna go out past the runway, and then do a 180 turn back for the downwind. Get out here far enough. Sometimes, depending on where you go, where you get to, you get at a wrong angle where you can't see the lights of the runway at night. So, trying to make sure that's not true. Nope, there it is. Okay. But then it makes it a little difficult to figure out where to make your turn. But there's a runway right there. I can see the white flashing lights on the leading edge of it. So there's two runways here. One's 2300 and the other's 5900. So yeah, that's a shorty there. Okay, there's the flashies for the end. I'm applying a parallel heading. There's the beacon. It says it's not VFR conditions because it's nighttime or evening. Alrighty. We'll roll out a little bit. Once I get turned around here, I'll readjust my power settings and get ready to enter the downwind. So we should be 1,000 feet when we enter the pattern. Alrighty. Probably good enough. Plane was descending a little bit, pulled back on the yoke. There's a runway. Oh, nice approach. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 23.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 23.
Alrighty. Okay, end of the runway. Back on the yoke a little bit. Pull back on the power. 1 notch of flaps. Make sure the nose is actually dropped. Looking to be 45 degrees. Okay, I'll say that's good enough. Turn the base. Second notch of flaps. Make sure it keeps descending so I don't lose airspeed. Alrighty. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 274 at 14 knots, cleared to land runway 23.
Alrighty. Nice, well lit up runway. That's not your flaps. We have no displaced threshold here.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf exit runway when able.
Flaps are up. Taxi lights on. Is that taxiway there? Looks like it is. It slowed down a little bit. Is that a taxiway or a runway? That looks like a runway. That's a taxiway. Kind of weird markings for a taxiway. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, clear of the active.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Inverness Tower on 118.4. Please repeat your request.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request taxi to general aviation parking.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, taxi to general aviation parking.
Okay. Evidently, I'm on my own. And it looks like a pretty big hangar for general aviation, but we get over here. Yeah, we'll be okay. That should be a good place to park. Spin around. Okay. Put parking brake on. Well, that was fun. So. Well, it didn't work the other way. Alrighty. So. Turn off some lights here. Get the beacon on. Go back on the mixture. So let me try this again. So, when I turn that avionics on, the fuel cutoff valve comes out. I turn it down, it goes in. That's hilarious. Wow. Alrighty. Well, that was fun. Got everything all done. Yeah, I'll call it a day. And but that was fun. The weather turned out better. It was a little weird in towards the middle or the last 2/3, I think. And I had to make a slight adjustment, but that worked okay. Just shove the clouds up in the air. They were too close to the plane, and was just killing the frames. But like right now, I mean, I've got 45 frames. I mean, so that's seriously incredible how dramatic the impact is of the of clouds overhead. So I'm gonna call it a day, and to anybody who enjoys this kind of content, please click on the follow button, and if so you can tell when I go live. I've been kind of hit and miss when I stream. I have a few other projects that are kind of demanding my attention right now. So, but it's kind of I actually like developing. It's fun, but it sometimes gets a little tedious. And I find doing one of these flights is it kind of relieves that tremendously. It's relaxing for me. So as long as you're not fighting the weather too much. So, but so I usually always start about the same time, about 11. About 11. So what are we? Eastern Standard Time right now. So I usually try to start my flights about like that. So, and I have been flying over here in the UK. We'll see if that continues. So, but I have good scenery for it, and so everything kind of like looks pretty nice. So, but I mean, like that hangar there, that probably isn't a general aviation hangar. Not sure what part's in there, but I'm sure it's not a 172. That is a big hangar. So, alrighty, gonna call it a day. Call it a flight. Bye bye. Have a great day.